Hey guys, it's Con for Hollywood Studios here, and today we are doing another coaster review. Today we will be reviewing Fury 325 at Carowinds, the massive B&M Giga coaster built in 2015. Before we begin, I want to ask you guys if you enjoy the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That way I can keep making new content for you guys, and let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with the stats for Fury 325. It measures 325 feet in height, hence the name Fury 325, has a drop of 320 feet, reaches a maximum speed of 95 miles an hour after traversing the 81-degree drop, and has a track length of 6,602 feet, making it one of the longest coasters in the world, which is crazy. And I must say, it doesn't feel like the longest coaster in the world because you're going that fast through the layout. That's not to say it's a short ride, though. So getting into my experience with the park, we got there on July 25th for opening. We went straight to Copperhead Strike and waited to ride Fury until the middle of the day. That way we could make it my 150th credit. And once I got on it, I was just blown away. I think I rode it a total of 8 times when I was at Carowinds, many times in the front, many times in the back, and a few times in the middle. So I think it's safe to say I have a pretty good experience with this ride, although I only rode it over the course of 2 days. But I still have a pretty good experience with the ride. So starting off, when you exit the station, you're going to climb up the massive lift hill. And I must say, the view you get is really, really good. You get a great view of Charlotte, and it's one of the coolest parts about the ride. You also hear a spiel while you go up the lift hill, telling you what to and what not to do while you're on the ride.
For your safety, please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the ride at all times. Sit in an upright seated position, facing forward, with your back and shoulders against the seat mat. Hold on to the handlebar until the end of the ride. Thank you, and enjoy Fury 325.
And before you know it, you're at the very top where you slow down to take a look at the crazy big drop ahead of you, and then you drop down. And let me just say, in the back seat, this is one of the craziest drops of all time. And when you're in the front, the wind comes at you so fast. This is the tallest coaster and the fastest coaster I've ridden that has a lift hill, not a launch. And it is the tallest coaster with the lift hill anyway. And oh my god, is it crazy. 95 miles an hour is fast and you feel it. Before you know it, you're flying into the first overbank, which when it's running fast can be super forceful, but when it's running slower is just okay. But most of the times I rode it was running really fast and it was very forceful. Then you fly down, go through the picture opportunity, and then you fly up into a turn which goes over the path, which is really, really cool to look at. Whether you're on the ride or off the ride, it's very photogenic and very cool. You go through another one of these turns over another pathway before flying up into the treble clef. This is one of the craziest elements on the ride, and it's extremely photogenic. And it gives some really crazy sideways airtime, which is not something you see on many coasters. Then you dive underneath the pathway, and you fly up into this great airtime hill that's almost ruined by the trim, but it's still really good and gives some great ejector, especially when you're in the back or the front seat. Then you fly down into what is, in my opinion, and many others' opinions, the most boring part of the ride, which is a pretty slow helix, but it's alright because it gives you a bit of a breather right before the ride ends. After you go through this pretty slow helix, you fly up into a few airtime moments, which gives some really, really strong ejector airtime. And then, before you know it, you are on the brake run. So the ride has some really good elements, and they're very drawn out, but the ride still remains very forceful, which is great. And it's something I really like in most coasters. And getting into the restraints of the ride. They're the standard B&M clamshell, which are usually one of my favorite restraints ever. And it's definitely in the same case with this ride. The only problem is that there is a seat belt, which is honestly kind of unnecessary, but Cedar Fair probably did it to lower their insurance costs. But the ride really isn't affected too much by the seat belt. As long as you keep it loose and you keep the lap bar at a safe distance away from your body, the ride is super enjoyable because these restraints perfectly fit your legs, which is great. So otherwise, there's not much else for me to say other than the smoothness of the ride. It's really, really smooth. There's just a slight rattle when you're on the end seats, but it's really not that bad. As long as you're in the middle seat, it is pretty much gloss smooth, especially considering Now it's 5 years old because this is 2020 right now. So for its final score, it's getting a 10 out of 10. This ride lands in my top 5 favorite coasters and is certainly the best coaster at Carowinds. That's going to do it for this review of Fury 325 at Carowinds. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.